So my next guests have been on the front lines in the fight for reproductive rights in Ohio since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June of 2022. This past July, Lauren Blavelt and Dr. Lauren Bean of Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights joined the Katie Phang Show ahead of a special election to move the threshold of voters required to amend the state constitution from a simple majority vote to 60%. Now, when voters went to the polls, they overwhelmingly defeated that special election question, helping pave the way for victory this week when voters passed Issue 1, enshrining abortion rights into Ohio's state constitution. But now, thanks to Republican state lawmakers, they still have a major battle ahead. Joining me once again, I have the honor of having Lauren Blavelt, the co-chair, and Dr. Lauren Bean, the executive committee member of Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights. The Laurens, it's always so good to have you on the show. As I did before, Lauren Blavelt, I'll call you Lauren, and Dr. Lauren Bean, we're going to get that MD to use. We're going to call you Dr. Bean. So, Lauren, I'm going to start with you. I want to get your initial reaction. It had to have been just, elation and joy to pass Issue 1 on Tuesday, but then did you ever anticipate having to confront this next GOP obstacle?
We're overwhelmed, overjoyed. Ohioans, 56%, over 56% voted yes on Issue 1 to protect abortion access, to protect their personal medical decisions, and they turned out in droves across the state. So we are unbelievably overjoyed. And frankly, not really surprised that our representatives are not listening to their constituents. Ultimately, that's what got us here in the first place. They passed over 31 abortion bans and restrictions, including a 6-week ban that is so extreme, Ohio voters had to change it. That was why we had to turn out to vote yes on 1, is because we had to stop the extreme ban. That lawmakers had the chance to hear over almost a decade as they were trying to pass that ban from patients, from community members, from Ohio voters saying, we don't want this ban. They protested outside the State House when the ban was passed and have been working this entire time in strong coalition to ensure that abortion access is the law of the land in Ohio. And that's what it is now that we've voted in Issue 1 to change the Constitution to protect abortion access. So lawmakers need to listen to their constituents. We will absolutely keep fighting, but Ohio representatives should listen to Ohio voters.
Dr. Bean, the statement that was released by those Republican legislators alleges, without any evidence, because I want to underscore this, foreign election interference, which, listen, we've heard that before. But they're also saying that they're going to introduce, quote, several bills to address the passing of Issue 1. So how does your organization plan to counter what's coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, so I think that similar to what Lauren said, this has kind of been how they've been operating the entire last year. The anti-abortion politicians in Ohio have really just been kind of throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I honestly really just feel like this is another example of that, of them, just trying to find any way that they can to confuse people, trying to see what they can do to stop the people from being able to get basic medical care. And so, I think as far as what we're going to do, we're going to keep fighting. We are an organization of healthcare professionals who have frontline experience and understand why it's so important for people to be able to access reproductive health care when they need it. And also, like Lauren said, we know people who will share their stories. People are brave. They will come forward. And, we're planning on helping to amplify the message of why this is so important and why the people who signed that statement are just so wrong.
Dr. Bean, I want to stay with you because I want our viewers to understand that Issue 1 was not just about abortion access. It's the quote from the amendment. It specifically declared an individual's right to make and carry out one's own reproductive decisions, including birth control, fertility treatments, miscarriage, and abortion up to the point of fetal viability. So from a medical perspective, Dr. Bean, how important was it and is it to continue to ensure that individuals have the rights to be able to make these types of decisions for their medical health?
Oh, it's so important. And we see why it's so important in areas of the country where these basic rights to be able to control your own reproductive biology have been attacked and have been limited, and how detrimental that is on women's health, where areas of the country that don't have these sorts of protections have much higher maternal mortality rates, infant mortality rates than areas that do allow and protect the rights of people to make their own healthcare decisions regarding their own reproduction. And so this is just, everything that this amendment covers will ensure that the people of Ohio will have, control over decisions that they need to in order to make sure that they're healthy and safe.
Lauren, your movement in Ohio, although may not be over yet, depending upon the challenges that are coming down the pipeline, but it's emboldened abortion rights groups across the country, with groups gathering signatures in swing states like Arizona, my state of Florida, and Nevada. What advice do you have for these states as they go forward with their own measures?
Build a strong, diverse coalition, continue to work with grassroots volunteers and storytellers, faith leaders, people from across your state, and make sure you continue to stick to your message. We had to have a very clear message to get through all the misinformation that was coming from the other side. It was so important for voters to understand that voting yes was the only way to stop the ban and protect abortion access. And keeping a clear message with all the misinformation, that's the most important strategy. And stick with your coalition, because it takes a lot of people, a lot of amazing Ohioans put in everything they had so that we could win.
And Lauren, the highly restrictive 2019 abortion ban in the state of Ohio, it was kind of put on the back burner legally while this was going on in terms of the votes. I mean, how optimistic do you remain that because Issue 1 passed this past week, that perhaps that abortion ban and maybe even the other 30 very restrictive abortion bans in Ohio, that they may be off the books?
Issue 1 was very clear. It changed the Constitution to protect our reproductive health care decisions, to protect abortion access, and the extreme abortion ban clearly blocks abortion access. So it is our estimation that the legal process will be fair, and that Issue 1 and what the Ohio voters have called for will stand.
Yeah, I had Barb McQuaid on a little bit ago on the show to talk about the legal mechanisms that are going on, and she shared your optimism about the ability to make sure that it continues. The Laurens, Lauren Blavelt and Dr. Lauren Bean, we're going to keep an eye on what happens since the passing of Issue 1. I want to say thank you for coming back to the show to talk about the success of your efforts. Thanks for being here.